Yo, what's up, chat? Oh, snap. My screen is all jacked up. I forgot I have this screen set to pull it from another screen. It's all chaos, man. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. It is going to be a really, really busy day. Like, really busy. So we're going to do our best to stay ahead of all of the action here. Let me fix the screen here while we're live. Shout out to the live YouTube chat. Hopefully you guys are ready for some basketball. Hopefully you guys enjoyed last night's, I guess, season opener. It's like opening day for NBA again. Sure. Yeah. We just got to make sure that the address doesn't show, right? We don't want to leak the spreadsheet stuff, right? Yeah. But anyway, happy NBA Friday. Shout out to the live chat, Young C, Darian, Edwin, Josh Redfoot. Got my elevator porno music. Let me turn that off. What up? Nade? Yo, Nade abandoned me, bro. Nade got me hooked on Fortnite and said, yeet. Got out of there. Dang lazy mofo. Boots untied. NBA is back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So today's going to be a long day. A long day for my side of things. So I'm going to try and hopefully be done with this stream within an hour. We've got hopefully a 2-hour pre-lock voice chat in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. And then once that Nets game starts, I will try to get a baseball stream. I'll go live for that. You know, for the 10 of you that care about my baseball content, we'll go live for that. And then we'll have that 2-hour pre-lock baseball chat. So it's going to be a really busy day. If you guys are in the Discord, man, you guys should have a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of chat, a lot of notes, a lot of sweating to going on, tons of money to go out there and get tonight. Hopefully you guys did well last night. I did well on both sites for basketball last night, and then FanDuel was pretty nice to me for baseball. It seems to be in baseball the last week. One night I do really good on DraftKings, and the other night I do really good on FanDuel. Like, I've yet to have like crush both sites the same night. It's because the pricing algorithm on DraftKings has been so bananas, right? 5+K for some crazy stacks, and a lot of those guys are much cheaper on FanDuel, right? What up, Kreese? What up, Hateronzo? Just plug and chug all the plays in the Guntron 5000. That's what it is. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Anyway. I don't know where Raj is at. I told that dude to be here now, but he's not. So I'm going to get a plug out the way. If you guys want to come be part of the VIP side of things, the premium side of things, we've actually reduced the price. It used to be $100 a month, $30 a week, and like $55 for 2 weeks. And that's just when like one or two sports are at the same time. Now you're getting some big sports together. So if you go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account. You can take advantage of some discounted access. $25 to get you locked in for the week, $45 for 2 weeks, $80 for the month, $20 discount for the usual $100. And then if you want to lock until January 1st, that's $300. Guys, this is not just for one sport. It's for everything that we cover. I personally spearhead baseball, NBA, and then football, knock on wood, in a month, pending this chaotic Corona time. If you guys have any questions about this, twitter.com/GundackerSports, man, then you can reach out to me. DMs are open, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. You'll get access to all the spreadsheets for basketball and baseball. And then, of course, I like to dress up my own player pool for each site on NBA, and then I'll have a player pool that I'm using on baseball. So if you guys wanted to kind of see where my head was at some plays and tail or go against, you have that ability. You can do that, right? What up, Raj? Where's the link? What do you mean, where's the link? It's the Discord. What, dopey? Go to Discord. Go to the stream. And click stream voice chat, or just go into the regular voice chat. I'll drag you into the stream. Duh. What up, Plan B? You got $50 on the Magic, -3.5 first half. That Nets team's looking pretty shallow. Pretty shallow, right? No Kyrie, no Dinwiddie, no DeAndre. It is something. Anyway, let's get Raj in here. Here we go. Ready for that yo-yo? First yo-yo. Here.
Oh, it's been so long, I almost forgot. I was tripping. I was like,
You
wait,
forgot how to join voice chat. That's crazy.
I'm tripping. Oh, big day ahead of us today. The real NBA starts today. Nice two-gamer. Lakers did their thing, but a lot of places to go today and started.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And chat, bear with me if I don't know that, like, I don't know, some random backup has COVID and he's not there. I've done my best to have the most accurate player pool in my spreadsheet, looking at several sources. But if I start talking about a guy or hyping a guy that you know is out, man, feel free to correct me. I ain't too proud to correct myself. Let's get started. Let's go. Like, we ain't got time. Brooklyn Nets hosting the Orlando Magic. 2:30 p.m. Eastern start time. That's 1:30 Central. That's nuts. I'll never, ever get used to that. Projected starting lineup for the Magic: Markelle Fultz, Evan Fournier, Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Chris Chiozza, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, Rodion Carew, and Jared Allen. That is a conglomerate of names. Man, what a season for Brooklyn. If you look at the fans' hopes and dreams to start the season versus what they're working with now, it's a little bit different. Rodion Carew is dealing with a left hip contusion. You might see a GTT on him, but he is listed as probable officially. I think if we look at this Nets lineup, although they're only -7, by the way, which I'm kind of surprised about that. Magic a little bit better, or at least I feel like they're better defensively, and this Nets team is missing a lot of gaps to fill. But if you look at that Nets team, there's a lot of usage and minutes to fill. Karis LeVert, first and foremost, 8,200 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings. He should by far lead the team in usage, lead the team in everything, shots, points. I do think, the AK price points making you wonder what he'll do. Because he does have to score 40-plus DKP to kind of hit value. But he's certainly a guy that I don't mind getting immediate exposure to. And then Jared Allen's really curious on DraftKings. Jared Allen without DeAndre Jordan has very rarely let me down. Let's go to StatMuse. I haven't gone to StatMuse in forever. Jared Allen, DKP by game log without DeAndre Jordan. Let's go last 10 games. And I know the matchup isn't like some lockdown matchup, but there's legitimately 50-plus point upside. 50, 36, 30, 42. So outside of two of these last 10 games, maybe 3, I'd be completely happy with the return on investment at this price point today. Just 14 DKP against the Knicks in 32 minutes, 19 against the Lakers. Lakers front court, one of the best in the league at limiting opponents' fantasy points. So I definitely don't mind dabbling with some Jared Allen here. And I'd assume at 5,800 on DraftKings, he's not going to be very low owned. Almost 7K on FanDuel. I could see a question being a little bit tougher, but it is should be an opportunity for more minutes and between him and Karis LeVert. I mean, those are the two that stick out. On the Magic side, Vucevic, probably too cheap. How many times do I get hung up on loving some Nikola Vucevic? But this Nets matchup is one of the best matchups you can ask for in all of basketball. If we go to that rundfs.com VIP spreadsheet and sort it for most fantasy points allowed by the center position, Brooklyn giving up the second most fantasy points per game to opposing centers. I mean, that's just an incredible opportunity for Vucevic here at 8,500. Would love a shot at 50 DraftKings points to feel like it's really worth it in tournaments. But I do think this slate's going to offer several value spots to kind of fill in the gaps where we can settle on these 4.8 to 5.5x returns. The rest of the lineup here, Markelle Fultz is cheap enough to have some tournament shots on. Evan Fournier, the same thing. The Brooklyn Nets defensive metrics against the 3-ball and stuff like that, I could only take with a grain of salt considering their backcourt got a little bit different. But Fournier is going to have, he seems like a consistent shot, at least an opportunity to go get you 30 DKP. So 28, 20, 45. Has he played the Nets earlier this season? He's averaging 25 DKP. So he's probably tournament only for me. But man, those are the 3 names that stick out to me: LeVert, Jared Allen, and Vucevic. And then if this game, kind of surprises us, maybe like Aaron Gordon at 7K is just like in front of our faces. What are you thinking here?
I mean, yeah, Brooklyn side, Karis LeVert, lock and load. And when Kyrie's out, when Dinwiddie and Kyrie's out, I mean, 37% usage rate. I mean, I think he's probably going to be my highest owned guy on the slate. This price. He's going to go all in. Should be high owned. Jared Allen, he has a usage rate above 20%. It was 54% is what I saw. So, I mean, that's, again, those two at their combo at 5'8" for Jared Allen. Back to 50-point upside. I can load on him. Those might be the two highest owned guys on the slate for me. Other than that, anybody else from Brooklyn, I just don't see. I mean, I think people take tournament shots on guys like Garrett Temple, guys like, and maybe Justin. I don't know. Just
there's absolutely a case that like somebody else should
there is, yeah,
have to
like,
step out.
Maybe a third guy.
Like no Dinwiddie and no Kyrie is huge, and it's got to be more than just Karis LeVert. So like in mass, you're chasing a milli maker. Yeah, I don't think you're crazy. So right now I got Chioza at 3,900 on DraftKings, and I slotted him for 30 minutes. I mean, sub 4K for 30 minutes, probably take a shot on that, and hope 25 to 35 on the median end. So there's definitely room for a third or fourth guy to step up in the absence of big usage guys.
Joe Harris or Garrett Temple, one of those guys will have 20 real life points.
If the game's going to be competitive, yeah, I agree.
It's going to be competitive, yeah. And Orlando, I mean, I'm not, like, I get the boost, but I'm just not behind him because I feel like the opportunity cost is a lot with a lot of these kind of mid-tier centers. Good spots today. Some injuries. Even a guy like J-Val, Memphis, we'll get to next game. It's strictly just an opportunity thing with me, center only position. He's 85. It's going to be a great play. Should get you 40+. Just don't know how much I'll get to him.
So Tyler Johnson from the Miami Heat, right? He plays for the Nets now. He played 18 minutes in their last Saturday in their scrimmage. He had 17 real points in 18 minutes. Shot 7 of 11. So he is really cheap on both sides. 3,200 for a potential 30-minute, Tyler Johnson.
Too.
You got.
He's one of those 3K guys. Him, Zach Collins, will play him in the 3K range. I get it. I mean, if you want to line up Giannis and Luka, win those 3K guys, don't hate it.
Yeah, I would definitely have stabs at all these cats. 211 is a somewhat meager total, all things considered.
This game stays close. I don't think Orlando's going to blow them out. I don't respect Orlando that much.
I think the fact that Orlando runs a medium to low pace, right? I think they're one of the slowest pace teams. They pull up the pace chart. Orlando is bottom 4 in pace. I think that might at least slow the blowout rate, right? It's not going to be a track meet where they're just dunking on everybody. And then, of course, to start the season, you might expect some teams to be a little bit slower as they build their team conditioning anyway. So maybe it's not a blowout, but I definitely think that the Nets the Magic should be able to put away the Nets pretty easily. But that doesn't mean that there's not usage and fantasy points to be picked up on the Nets side. Chat, anything else here? K Johnson says all the Tyler Johnson here. I agree with that. Spent 10 mask on a new chain. Gucci Gang, yeah. All right, let's get on to the next one. Portland Trailblazers hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Projected starting five for the Grizzlies: Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Well, they didn't get tickets because no one's allowed there. Duh. Jaren Jackson Jr., Jonas Valanciunas taking on Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Zach Collins, Yusuf Nurkic. I would maybe wait to see for sure that's going to be that Blazer starting five. But Zach Collins, Yusuf Nurkic, back in action here. Will they start? We'll see. Melo has been a guy that's stretched out to the forefront, and Hassan Whiteside has been just fine as a starting five as well. But nonetheless, Yusuf Nurkic at 5,900 on DraftKings has been drawing a lot of interest from the few chats that I've been a part of this morning. I mean, that's a really low opportunity cost. I'm interested. I'm not gonna lock him by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely think at 5,900 that's there, and that puts him right at like Jared Allen range, and that's an interesting 1v1. And
you're Jared Allen all day, every day, it's on Sundays.
Probably. Damian Lillard, 9.3K. That's a guy that can easily give you a shot at 50 fantasy points. This lineup should be a lot more spread out now. On the Memphis side, Ja Morant, 6,300 on FanDuel. I do like that. I still kind of expect him to just be at the 30-minute area. But at 6,300, we know 36 fantasy points for FanDuel is well within the range of outcomes. And if we look at that DVP chart, point guards, fantasy points allowed, Portland's been giving up the top fourth most fantasy points allowed to opposing point guards. So it's a good spot for John Morant to capitalize. I think if we look at that Portland Trailblazers front court DVP, it's just going to be a little misleading, right? Melo at the 4, defensively, is just not going to be what Zach Collins is. Not that Zach Collins is somebody we're going to run from, but the numbers shake up a little bit when you change your power forward and center. So I'm not going to overanalyze that. JaVale is somebody that can be a point per minute monster, but at 8K, I do feel like you're stretching the ranges of comfort. Zach Collins at 3K on DraftKings. I put him at a tentative 28 minutes. I mean, that's how do you stay? Like, how do you get away from that? You put Zach Collins and Tyler Johnson in a DraftKings lineup and have fun.
I mean, I love JaVale today. I just think with Hassan Whiteside and Nurkic there, they're going to be big the whole time. Have Jackson Jr. who likes to get into, who likes to be a little foul heavy. I see JaVale plays 34. If I tell you right now, JaVale plays 34 minutes, I lock him in at 7,800.
At 78? Oh, if he plays 34, sure. But I don't think that's going to happen with Brandon Clark.
I think he's going to play that against Whiteside. They have to win these games into the playoffs. I think JaVale's off the leash, so I'm going to probably be over on him.
I feel like you've always thought this, and it's
that's not true. But I mean,
when that front court was diminished, right? When Jaren Jackson was down and Brandon Clark was down, sure. But even then, we're talking like 36 on a good day. I there's no reason for me to believe that he's for sure locked into 30-plus minutes in the first game back when conditioning's still suspect. I can't co-sign that take. I think it's way too early to project Jonas Valanciunas for way
I think
over
JaVale outscores Valanciunas. Valanciunas
outscores who?
G-Gang.
Vucevic?
You know what? I think no. You know what? I'll say I think Valanciunas is the highest scoring center on the slate.
All right. Well, the hot takes are here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, NBA.
Like 55. Maybe a 60 bomb for JaVale incoming.
So I mean, it's certainly possible, but like Collins and Nurkic, like if you look back to like last season's stats, like the Blazers front court weren't pushovers like they were to start this season.
Hey, how many minutes do you think Nurkic is going to play? I mean, coming off serious injury.
I put him at a 10 of 27. I mean, like, this is a guy that was working on coming back before the quarantine, and now he's had 3-4 months. Like, he might match JaVale minutes for minutes. And then also, JaVale is still a foul-prone guy, so I'm not going to co-sign the hot take here on JaVale. Brandon Clark's 4,100 on DraftKings. Certainly could see him stepping up if Jaren Jackson or JaVale, one or the other, get into some foul trouble, and we definitely know Jaren Jackson has that propensity in him. So Clark at 41 could it be a sneaky shot, 30 DKP. That's actually what my soft projection algorithm has him at, 30 DKP. So I might put Brandon Clark in my back pocket and some multi-entry. And I probably don't go crazy with the guard situation here for Memphis just yet. Damian Lillard in 20 lines. How many shares of Lillard? I feel like
crazy. Like, I'm totally okay if you full faded Lillard in 20 lines.
So I think the slate just has a lot of studs that Lillard's going to end up being lost in the shuffle. Like Luka's up there, Harden's up there. 12%. I mean,
6 gamer, that's low for Damian Lillard.
I agree, and this is a pace up spot for Memphis. Yeah.
It just seems like now with Lillard, Cullum, Anthony, Nurkic is back. It's just the touches are just going to be spread out a little more.
Maybe, but it starts and stops with him, and I still think Dame is going to lead the team in minutes and whatnot. So
Memphis is fast, paced team, running up and down.
So I get it. Like my knee jerk reaction is to go get some Harden, some Lukas, and Kristaps, guys like that. So, but from a game theory standpoint, maybe that opens up Lillard as one of the lower owned opportunities at a big scoring game. So. Maybe keep that in mind if you're most mass centering on either side, right? Let's get back to the live chat here. What you guys got? Brandon says Clark is going to hoop. I'm with that. What up, Big Mike? Brandon Clark, 4,100. Yeah, I'll take some shot on that if it's over 20 plus. Right on cue. There you have it. That's not the hottest take I've ever heard Raj have, but it is definitely a flimsy take.
Hit on it.
The J Val over Vucci gang, guaranteed 35 minutes in his first game back. Get the freak out of here.
Against Nurkic and Whiteside.
Nurkic is not a pushover, dog. Whiteside, sure.
They're going to be big the whole game. They're not going small. Portland's not going small.
How many times have we said that with J-Val, bro? All right, let's move on. Washington Wizards hosting the Phoenix Suns. Project starting five for the Suns: Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, DeAndre Ayton taking on Shabazz Napier, Jerome Robinson, Troy Brown, Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant. The Washington Wizards are the who's who of who's that. This is a team. This is a collection of names. Just a 7-point spread in favor of the quote-unquote visiting Phoenix Suns here. Suns looking a little bit more complete. They're still missing Kelly Oubre Jr. We have Q tags on Sarge and Baines, but I think they're closer to in. DeAndre Ayton's AK. This is a Wizards team that if we go to that DVP chart and sort it by most points allowed to the center position, Wizards were given a top 6, top 7 amount of fantasy points per game. So it is a spot for a guy like DeAndre Ayton to easily come out here and drop 40 plus fantasy points. Algorithm right now spitting back 47 and 46 on FanDuel and DraftKings, and I think we've already established that with guys like Zach Collins, with guys like Tyler Johnson, salary's not going to be that big of a problem. So if we can go get those free 40s and 50s, I do think Ayton kind of qualifies as somebody to watch. And then, of course, Devin Booker, I think on FanDuel is a little bit more lucrative at 8K. He's another guy that might just fall through the cracks with some of the higher-end guards on the slate. But I definitely would say that he has extremely high upside. The Washington Wizards come into this game as one of the worst teams at defending the three ball. Could certainly see Devin Booker get hot from three, start chucking a lot of threes. The Wizards allow a 38.2% success rate from behind the arc and almost 39 points per game via the three ball. So Devin Booker come out chucking threes, and it's a plus spot for him. How many threes per game are we looking at for Booker? 7, 6, 9, 8. So he's definitely going to chuck some threes. So Booker, Ayton for me. The Wizards, I feel like there is going to be some diamonds in the rough for the Wizards. I mean, this is a whole team where...
Are they even an NBA team right now?
I will say, I can't pay 7-4 for Hachimura. If I die because Hachimura breaks the slate at 7.4K on DraftKings, I'm just dead. But Shabazz Napier, I don't mind taking some shots on him. He's a guy that has come through for me before. Troy Brown Jr. could, Ish Smith, there's a couple those guys, but I don't think I'm getting too cute with some of these supplementary. Maybe Thomas Bryant is kind of cheap on both sides, but he's another guy that there's a lot of economically friendly, not economically. Financially friendly options at the center position, so maybe even Thomas Bryant falls by the wayside. But you can give me Troy Brown. He's just a peripheral stat stuffer. You can give me Napier. You can give me Ish Smith. And if I was spraying 150, I wouldn't mind having those guys dabbed in there versus Booker, Ayton, and Rubio at 7-4. That feels a little bit fluffy, but 6-5 on DraftKings. 6-5 on FanDuel. I probably have more
FanDuel play. Yes, DraftKings definitely not for me at 7-4. It's tough.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Washington, for this game to stay close, I feel like Shabazz Napier probably has to go for like 25 real-life points.
Sure.
And then you got Troy Brown Jr., who just do a little bit of everything, get you rebounds, points, full of assists, like that. So, Booker, Ayton, and then you want to have some Napier, Troy Brown Jr., and have some Ish in your back. If you're playing a lot of Napier, have some Ish, because one of those guys, they'll probably want to say, apparently the coaches want to split some time, but whoever's hot will run with it. Mm-hmm. One of those guys, can get hot any minute. You want to play those two. And Phoenix side, just, play the studs. No kind of sneaky plays there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Chat, what do you guys got on this one before we matriculate on to the next one? K. John says, when Dame Dollar's low owned, he smashes right it down. I think it's the game theory is 100% there for tournaments. What up, ACP? Debating stars and scrubs more versus balance. So it certainly feels like stars and scrubs will be the chalky approach.
I like the balance today. There's a lot of these, 5, 6, 7K guys. They're in good spots.
Yeah. Thomas Bryant birthday, really? Wow. Jerry and Grant, 3,100. No Davis Bertans. Yeah, the absence of Davis Bertans, who opted out, is certainly not something to forget about. That was a guy that chucked a lot of threes off the bench. Could represent 15 to 20 plus real points. Again, it's hard for me to just place that trust in anyone. But Jerry and Grant, I don't know. I have him at 3 minutes now. We'll see if he. I don't think I get that. I don't think I take a shot on him yet, but we'll see. Play Brown. He's playing 30 plus minutes. Troy Brown. I do like Troy Brown Jr. He's come through for me a lot. 4,600 on FanDuel. Is that a small forward spot? Small forward.
Is he going to take the second or third most shots on the team? Most likely.
Who freaking knows? This team is this is a team. Like, how did this team get the call back? Like, Bradley Beal, nah, I'm good.
How many games are they out?
I don't know, man. It's bad. Against Atlanta, 30 DKP. A couple tougher matchups, less minutes here. But you've seen some shining spots on him. If you can give him 30 minutes, which I think it's fair to kind of get him close to 30 minutes, but I also think like this is a wide rotation that they just like for the rest of the season. We just see a lot of Wizards 28-minute games, so that does spook me a little bit. But I think he's a little too cheap on FanDuel at 4.6 to not have some, especially with small forward. I could see a lot of people just going Giannis and then like punting the other small forward since most of the pay up spots are like guards. Troy Brown's 4.7 on DraftKings. So I'm really looking for 30, and 30 is just kind of what I need. Does he have potential to go higher than 30 here?
15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, steals and a block.
Yeah. I'll take it. Let's move on to the next game here. Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Boston Celtics. Project starting 5 for the Celtics. Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, and Daniel Tice. Taking on Dante DiVincenzo, Wesley Matthews, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brook Lopez. We got a 219 total, a 5-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Kemba Walker was announced to be on a minutes limit for the Celtics. So for me, that just kind of DQs any guard for the Celtics, right? Kemba, Wanamaker, and probably Marcus Smart. Although I feel like that last one might get me. But he says Kemba Walker, quote, may even be ahead of schedule, quote, to play 15 to 20 minutes in this game against the Bucks, according to Coach Brad Stevens. So I put him at 19, but I think it's fair for me to not touch him. When he has been out, we have seen a boost for Jason Tatum. Tatum's 8,700. He's a guy that's likely going to play deep minutes no matter what. He wouldn't be somebody that probably lands in a single entry or anything like that, but man, a pace-up spot, maybe some more responsibility. I mean, he's one of those mid-tier, him and Damian Lillard's, like, these are guys with a ceiling that would probably garner low ownership that do have a range of outcomes of coming through. So I don't mind some shots at Jason Tatum. Tatum was on an absolute tear prior to the All-Star break, if you guys forgot that. Let's go look at that game log. 50, 58, 64, 53. Like, he was showing it. Yes, this was all without Kemba. But if we have a limited Kemba, we have a pace-up spot against Milwaukee. I may not be out of play for me. But at 8.5, 8.7, you pretty much need that 50. So it's all tournament shot game theory discussion. But if I was running 100, 150, I'd probably have to put them in my back pocket there. But the Celtics, man, Celtics have always been that team where I just don't get too crazy with ownership on the Celtics. And I don't think anyone's priced at a must-have spot on either site. I guess at 5.8 on FanDuel, you could make a case for Jaylen Brown in a pace-up spot against Milwaukee, or a team that will force you to shoot some more threes. 7K on DraftKings, I don't think Like, it's as strong of a click. On the Bucks side, Giannis Antetokounmpo is 10.7 on FanDuel, 10.5K on DraftKings. 50. Are we overpaying for 50 fantasy points? And doesn't matter because we have the flexibility, right? So just for instance, let's put Tyler Johnson in our DraftKings slot. He's also shooting guard eligible, so that's huge. And then who's the other one? Zach Collins. These are going to be some trending names. That gives us 7.3 per. So if we put a guy like Giannis in there, we've paid 12K plus for Giannis before. So getting him at 10.5 seems like there is some meat on the bone there, even if it is just mid 50s. A lot of times Giannis isn't giving you that huge return because of a blowout, and this game could get to that level. But I think we saw last night the lack of crowd. I think is understated in NBA. It's such
it slows down the pace and the scoring.
Right, I will agree with that, but also like there's so much energy from a crowd that you're just not getting in an empty stadium. And the Bucks have a really good home crowd with a fast-paced offense. So wonder if that keeps some games closer longer for guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo to stick to these 35-minute opportunities instead of playing 27, 25 in games that get lopsided. So, but what I'm saying is it's not gonna be a stretch to easily fit in a Giannis and maybe even another stud. Like if you put a Harden and Giannis, we still got 55 per, and we talked about Jared Allen and guys like that in the 5K range. So Giannis Antetokounmpo 10.5K against Boston. How much?
I think he's probably my third. I got him ranked third as my stud today with Harden, Luka on top of him. Mm-hmm. So probably have him. I want to say maybe under the field, maybe 15%.
You said 18 to 20%?
15 to 20. 15 to 20%.
Oh, 15 to 20?
I'd have a lot more Harden than Luka. It's been on, great spot. No Eric Bledsoe. I mean, obviously going to get a bit of a usage bump from that. Man, Middleton. Is Middleton the 7'5" guy? Oh, I mean, could he outscore a Karis LeVert? I think Karis LeVert would be a lot more popular, probably double.
I mean, he could. I'm definitely siding with LeVert, but I'm going with
LeVert.
I understand the thought process, like the game theory there.
No, Bledsoe has over close to 25% usage for Middleton. So
is it? I mean, is it? I'm just like, I don't know that Middleton has a ceiling with Giannis. DP game log, last 10 games with Giannis. I feel like anytime I'm gonna pay $8K for Chris Middleton, Giannis better be out. He does have a 60 bomb here, but everything else is like 50 or less, and I could fade 50 if that's like the high end. So yeah, I don't see myself getting to Middleton at 7.5.
This game in general, like I like Giannis and like everyone else. Like I'm not running to play any other Milwaukee. Even like DiVincenzo will start 4,900. Mm-hmm. Not really excited for that to get you 30. That's cool. Boston side, with everyone's Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Tatum. Everyone's on a minutes limit, but he'll still play. I think maybe 25. I'm not running to play these guys. If I just end up with on a 3-entry max, just Giannis in one of them, they go with that. This is not the most exciting game on the slate. Even though there's a pace-up spot for Boston, how Boston is when they're fully healthy. It's a lot of bodies, the ball around.
I wish I can get more minutes in for Cantor because I would love him in a pace-up spot at 3K. I would love him. Let's see what you guys got in the live chat before we move on. How about some Hayward? I rarely play Hayward unless...
So tough today at this price. The guys where people are missing. Like in every other team, it seems like somebody important is missing. While Boston, they literally have everyone.
Yeah, they have everyone, and then they have a guy who's there just enough to where you can't play him, but it hurts other people too. So, yikes. All right, let's move on to the next game. San Antonio Spurs hosting Sacramento Kings. We got project starting five for the Kings: De'Aaron Fox, Bogdanovich, Harrison Barnes, Nemanja Bjelica, Rashawn Holmes, 3,900 on FanDuel, by the way. Taking on Dejounte Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, and Jakob Poeltl. I looked at several sources, and every site kept listing DeMar DeRozan as the power forward. So, yikes. Obviously, we know Rudy Gay can stretch out to the floor a little bit. Maybe Drew Eubanks. I don't know. This is going to be some super small ball from the Spurs. LaMarcus Aldridge had shoulder surgery. This is a 221 total. The Kings favored it by 3. I think on the surface, if we're looking at FanDuel, Rashad Holmes screaming at you. I think he's another guy that I love playing him historically anyway. But he's absolutely going to be somebody that I put in the mix. The Kings have sustained some more injuries during the break. I think, was it Harry Giles? Not Harry Giles. Marvin Bagley got injured. He's going to be out of there. Alex Len probably doesn't play, so we should see plenty of minutes for Rashawn Holmes, who's always been a point per minute for me. So if I can get him to 25, 30 minutes at 3,900, yeah, I'll take that all day long, all day strong. De'Aaron Fox is 7'5", 7'6" on both sites. Not a price point where I think it's egregiously over or under. I think that's probably right where he needs to be. Bogdanovich, I think, could easily hit me 5 to 7x at 5.3, 4.8 on both sites. So both those guys are in play for me. And Nemanja Bjelica probably has a little bit of meat on the bone on a good game at 4.5 or 5.3 on either site, respectively. On the Spurs side, I mean, it's DeRozan without Aldridge, right? We usually take shots at that. 8,200 on FanDuel, 7.7 on DraftKings. 40 fantasy points is probably what I want. It's kind of what I need at that price point. But, I mean, we're looking for those usage opportunities without a stud. And DeRozan without Aldridge is one of those opportunities for me. Let's go DeMar DeRozan DKP by game log without LaMarcus Aldridge last 10 games. In StatMuse, bunch of 40s. There's 3 games skid here under 40 against Charlotte, Indiana, and Orlando.
And remember with Pop saying that he wants to focus on growing their young talent rather than making the playoffs when the NBA restarts.
Yeah, it makes sense. So play him with a grain of salt. DeJounte Murray, 6K. He does have triple-double potential, but he's another guy I probably don't project to play deep minutes, even though there's been some time off.
He might be the guy that gets the extended run here. DeJounte Murray might be the guy to win you the turn.
I won't be shocked. I'll say that. I won't be shocked. And in 20 lineups, I'd be curious with having a share or two at 6K, knowing I can offset it. I don't think he's going to have any type of ownership. So
play 28 minutes in the scrimmage. You give him maybe an extra couple minutes in a real game. 32 minutes down, DeJounte Murray. Loving it.
Yeah, I'm a buyer. I mean, I think that's fair. Let's see. He went 3 of 14 during Tuesday's scrimmage with 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 1 turnover. I mean, he's a do-it-all guy. If that 3 of 14 turns into a 7 of 14, that's probably a good return. In tournaments, I'll take some DeJounte Murray. Just get the really, really different. He's probably single-digit ownership, right? So yeah, okay. I'll play. I'll bite. Any Derek White, Lonnie Walker, Jakob Poeltl.
Some people are bringing up Lonnie Walker. I don't think you have to get that cute today. 3,200, same price Tyler Johnson. He did play 25 minutes in the scrimmage, in the 25th, he played 25 minutes in the scrimmage.
Who did?
Lonnie Walker.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a whole lot of other bodies, so.
Yeah.
Walker did have that huge, overtime game earlier this season where they beat Houston. So I mean, it's in him, but.
San Antonio's interesting because a guy like, if they want to win this game, a guy like Rudy Gay and DeRozan will probably chuck a lot of the shots. Rudy Gay had a 23-point game in 21 minutes. So he's 5,300. But then if Pop really wants to focus on the young guys like DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, and I think even Poeltl with no Trey Lyles, no Aldridge.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see Poeltl get the minutes here?
Let's see, Jakob Poeltl.
Generally is tough.
I have him. I can get him at 22. I'll probably increase my minute projection on Poeltl for sure. I have White at 30. I have DeJounte Murray at 30. Maybe. So Poeltl's at 4,200, and he's center only, right?
That's tough.
It's hard to give up that center spot with some of the other names So center utility like Ayton, we talk like some of the mid stakes guy, Ayton, Vucevic, Porzingis is center only now. You can't slide him in that power forward spot. Rashawn Holmes is center only, so it's really hard to dedicate that spot to Jakob Poeltl. Anyway, chat, what do you guys got on this one for Mitchell Clay? On to the next one. Josh Nice, yo, it's Mouse. We back. Let's go. Glad hearing Raj back too. My favorite duo. Hey, appreciate that. Raj Lonnie has put up 50 in this season. Yeah, Lonnie had the super fake game, but
a lot of people out too. I remember.
Yeah. Didn't he cut his hair? I think I read that he cut his hair. That was the thing. Is Healed underlooked? I definitely think you can get Healed at a cheaper price. Healed is, what, 55, 5,200, cheaper ownership or lower ownership.
It reminds me of like a Jaylen Brown play.
Exactly. Like, he can come through, but the range of outcomes is probably on the less than 10% time. But the Spurs, Spurs were already a super soft matchup, giving up a lot of points in the paint. Give me Rashawn Holmes. Even on DraftKings, Rashawn Holmes is a play for me. But if I'm running 20 on FanDuel, I probably have 20 lineups with Rashawn Holmes. Like, that's not even something I'm...
did he play in any of the scrimmages? He's in quarantine, so do you think his fitness is up there?
I'm sure it is. Let's see. Rashawn Holmes.
He's been quarantined. He re-quarantined for 8 days.
Says he will not be under minutes restrictions for Friday's game against the Spurs. He started Sacramento's final scrimmage, but only played 18 minutes as Coach Luke Walton limited the center's minutes. He'll be under no such restriction Friday, which is good news. So he got 18 minutes of action. I'll tell you what, 18 minutes, he's probably a point per minute, and I'd play him.
Yeah.
You give me 25, 30 at that price on FanDuel, yeah. Yes, please. I
mean, you start every lineup with Holmes and and Jared Allen, center and util spot.
I think that's fair. Like, I wish Holmes was power forward eligible on DraftKings, but it'd
be nice. Yeah,
makes sense. We only got one game left to talk about. Take a pause for the cause. Remind you guys that if you're looking for a group that's going to be grinding today and every day, all day, and I'm talking about grinding. I got that chat is on late at night. We're in there sweating at bats on the West Coast. I opened it up at 9 a.m. People are already crunching both sites, both slates. We had one of our members, I think, tied for first in the Millie yesterday because everyone did. So shout out to him. So there's a lot of cats, different bankroll levels, getting it in. We have news alerts as they come out from the new bot decker that we implemented yesterday, and then of course the spreadsheets and the voice chats all day. We'll have a pre-lock voice chat for NBA. I'll probably be in that right after this stream up until NBA lock, and then once NBA locks, I gotta flip the switch good to MLB. I'll probably try and do an MLB live stream. So if you guys are listening and you're looking for some MLB takes, maybe look back at this channel at NBA Lock, and I'll try and get on the air for that. And then, of course, we'll have to monitor news all day as NBA's back as an all-day affair. And we'll have that in the Discord, man. Anytime someone's late scratch, or possibly out, we got cats in there that will hit you with that everyone tag, and you'll be alerted. So if you want to be part of a tight-knit winning team, man, go to rundfs.com, make yourself an account, get signed up, try it for a week. If you have any questions, DM me on Twitter, twitter.com/GundackerSports. Main event tonight, the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. Project starting five for the Rockets: Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Daniel House, Robert Covington, and P.J. Tucker. Taking on Luka Doncic, Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, and Maxi Kleber. We got a 230 total, a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Mavericks. Interesting. But this one should be the most fun to watch. Should be a super high scoring, or it could be a high scoring affair. And James Harden has been playing bully ball in the scrimmages thus far. He's 11K on DraftKings, 10.6 on FanDuel. Certainly a guy that I think will be very sought after. A lot of value out there to put him into your lineups. I think he would be the ultimate leverage fade of the day. If you wanted to put that 11K into someone else, I can't really justify it with stats. It's just strictly, if he didn't, like last night on DraftKings, I had very little LeBron James because he was 10.7. And I was just like, man, I got to go get these Kawhis and PGs and guys like that. Maybe it's a case like that with Harden at 11K, and you can balance out your lineup a little bit more. Luka Doncic is 10.5 on DraftKings, 10.8K on FanDuel. He's probably also going to be one of the highest owned players today. Luka Doncic's DKP by game log versus Rockets last 3 games. 71, 60, 45 his last 3 games against the Rockets. Last game he dropped 71. We'll take that. So I love me some Luka here. Porzingis, remember there was a stretch where Luka was out and Porzingis was in, and Porzingis started going off, and then Luka came back, and we're like, oh, we can't play Porzingis. Now Luka's back. He hasn't gone off with Luka. Well, he started going off with Luka, and they started showing some synergy. So I don't mind at all grabbing Porzingis here. Let's go 5 games with Luka Doncic because the Rockets have been an extremely favorable matchup for the opposing front courts. He has dropped 49, 66, and 62 in 3 of his last 5 games. The last 2 games against the Spurs and the Pacers, not as great. 4 fouls, 3 fouls in those 2 games. But if we go look at that RunDFS.com team DVP chart, Houston, when it comes to power forwards, is giving up the 3rd most fantasy points in the league. And I know DraftKings has Porzingis as the center, but it will probably see him bouncing back and forth, and he could be a stretch for chucking some threes. 8,600 on DraftKings. I like the price. I do think the median range of outcome is probably right at 45, which is what you need, but it's certainly a spot that can get it done. He's another guy for FanDuel at 9.3 that gets you a lot of blocks, and those add up real quick on FanDuel as well. So I do like the Luka Porzingis combo. Is there any supplementary Maverick that you would take a flyer on? I feel like no one's priced at a comfortable, like Curry at 5K, Hardaway 6K. You would think without like Dwight Powell or somebody off the bench here, like there might be somebody else to take a shot on, but no one's priced outside of like where they should be.
Exactly. Like if Seth Curry was, I don't know, like 3,800, or if Tim Hardaway Jr. was 4,500, maybe you take shots on that and get you a 30-point game. I just don't see it. It's Luka, it's Porzingis, Houston, it's Harden. You know, you're gonna play a ton of Harden. I think play some Westbrook. You're gonna have those games at 9-4, get you 50. You're good with that. I guess if you want to get cute, Covington always has those games where he just like fills up the stat sheet with a couple blocks, steals, rebound, can get a double. But he's 6,100, so that's kind of tough. I think this game is just it's so much value in other spots. You just kind of focus on the studs here because everyone's healthy. Harden, Westbrook, Porzingis, play Luka. I wouldn't get too cute.
Yeah, Westbrook and Harden, I think is Westbrook at 9.4K here. The algorithm for me is only spitting back mid 40s. I think obviously I would have more Westbrook or more Harden than Westbrook. But do you like?
Mid 40s like doesn't kill you. You're a little disappointed, but if you get you 44 drafting points on 9-4, yeah, okay.
So
I'm not gonna,
at this price point on Westbrook 9.4, right? We're probably looking for 50.
50 plus in tournaments, 55, close to the 60 mark to win something.
Are we expecting 37 plus minute Russell Westbrook here?
I want to see why not.
Yeah, probably. Let me see if I can get a gauge on minutes in the.
He played 15 minutes first scrimmage, 26 on Sunday, and then probably up at the 32, 33 today.
So if it's at 32, 33, I might be able to relax a little bit, but I do feel like that's a very important 4 to 5 minutes if he doesn't get to like that 37 mark, because all these 50 games are in like deep minute games, right?
Yeah,
outside of that Clippers, but I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that. I did see a blurb earlier. It says Rockets coach Mike D'Antoni said on Thursday that James Harden will likely be used off the ball more in an attempt to get him more clean looks as a kind of a pure shooting guard. So we'll see if that holds up true.
Have a perfect lineup going in with just Harden, and he just kind of bobbed.
He's playing shooting guard. Yeah. Daniel House is 4K on FanDuel. Remember, Eric Gordon is going to be out for quite a bit. Gordon was 3,700. House on DK is 38. He's probably going to soak a lot of minutes here, 30 minutes to ish. A wide range of outcomes for those 30 minutes. We've seen as little as 17 against Orlando, or as much as 32 against teams like the Knicks. So I certainly think he would be in the player pool. Wouldn't be somebody I'd lock in, but I definitely think he has an opportunity to be an incredible value play in a range of outcomes that gives him 30 minutes and falls into some rebounds or some steals and a couple points, stuff like that. Definitely a less than 20%er for me, but it's still there and it's still plausible. And the same with PJ Tucker, is the guy who's going to play the whole game, and you never know what you're going to get. Robert Covington, we didn't talk about him. 6K on both sides. It's almost like he's one of those guys you forget is on a different team. Like Gorgie Zhang was on the Grizzlies, and I forgot that this morning I was typing it. But Covington was the guy that was playing deep minutes as well. Does have potential to get you 30-plus-ish fantasy points. Not a plus massive for him by any stretch. Porzingis has been solid down low. But if he's going to get to a decent chunk of minutes, get himself some stocks, some blocks, steals, and a couple boards, I definitely don't mind a 6K shot at Rocco as a outside exposure to a 230 total. Like, this is one of those games that is going to be a high total with only like 4 guys getting the ownership, and there's always a chance for number 5, number 6 to be a much bigger part of the game from a fantasy standpoint than ownership gives us. And I do think Robert Covington fits that bill. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Chat, what do you guys got on that before we get out of here? Do the MLB stream need that pitcher info? I will do an MLB stream after NBA lock. So if you guys are gonna be with me in the afternoon, I will be on the air after MLB lock. I do have an obligation to be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord for the NBA pre-log voice chat. That's what people paid for. So I gotta complete that for the next 2 hours. But then I'll try and get on the air for some baseball takes, right? Do you think Boban would get minutes in this game? Seems like not the type of game for him, right?
I mean, if you play Boban,
stop.
Center only,
Stop.
Skip out on a Holmes or thing. Come see me. We'll do $1,000 headset, whatever you want.
Well, it's just like this. The Rockets are such a super small ball team that it's not like. It's a good chance Porzingis will play a lot of just straight up 5, and they respond small ball. DFS is still in the mix, so I would doubt Boban gets into the game for impactful minutes. We'll say that. Mavs were horrendous versus the 3-ball. Were they? It looks like they're one of the best teams. Let's see. 3-ball. Defense points per game for the 3-ball. Yeah, I guess they're middling here. A little below league average at allowing points from downtown, 33.9%. It's James Harden though. Like, that's a guy he's probably going to score 20 points on free throws alone. So I don't mind that. Just out of curiosity, has Tim Hardaway had any like secret success against the Rockets? Also, if you guys are watching on YouTube and want to help me out, hit that thumbs up. Game log versus the Rockets, last 10 games. It was surely helped the channel out. We have been inactive here during the quarantine. 49, Jesus, this is a Tim Hardaway game log. And the best way to help the channel out is to interact with the content, the videos. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have the ability to do so. And the more interaction the channel gets, the more the YouTube algorithm starts dragging it back into the forefront. And would sorely appreciate that. If you have anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. You can shoot me your questions, comments, concerns. I'm going to be over into the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. You guys can jump in that, grab a mic, join the conversation, or listen in. Rod's hot take. Give the folks one last hot take of the day before.
I mean, damn. About the highest scoring center on the slate stat, and we'll go with DeJounte Murray's in the winning lineup tonight.
I don't hate that. Like, I'm growing more and more to playing some Deontay
Actually,
Murray.
I feel like maybe I'm being swayed a little too much by Pop saying he's going to focus on the young guys getting it and seeing DeJounte play 28 minutes last game. I could see him playing 32.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I can see that. Anyway, Chad, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you want to come back with me for baseball, look for me in about 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes, and we'll try and get on the air for baseball. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're very successful in this NBA return slate. We'll try and have a more consistent schedule. I would love to get a night situation for NBA streams and then mornings for baseball. We'll see how that goes. But welcome back, NBA. Welcome back, chat. I love each and every one of you.